Hey guys, so in this video I want to talk about why you shouldn't become a background character in your life. Why it's important to be the star of your own life, and how the choices you make in casting the people and their roles can affect your life. So I guess my main point of this video is oftentimes people kind of go through life and they're always playing the supporting role, or like they feel like they're a background character and they don't take control of their life. They just kind of go on with their life, humdrum, and they don't realize how important their life is. Obviously there's varying levels of importance with people, but I believe that everybody has a cause, a calling, should we say, and I also believe that everybody should be the center of their life, because if you don't play the leading role in your life and you let someone else play that role, then what kind of life are you leading? And it's the same thing as when we think about relationships. Let's say you are playing the leading role in your life, but I know that I've done this, and so many people I know have done this. If you think about dating, if you think about relationships, in the respect of, like, let's say, we'll keep the acting analogy going on, a casting call. If a movie was trying to cast two main roles, let's say it was a romantic comedy, or maybe not even, maybe it was just some kind of movie that they expected to be a box office hit. If they casted the wrong individuals for that role, the movie would either flop, or it would be one of those things where you really enjoy a movie, but there's someone, or maybe a number of people, actors in the movie that you're just like, why did they choose them? This just doesn't fit. I know I've seen countless movies where I definitely questioned certain choices in casting, and I was wondering, why did they choose these people? Oftentimes in relationships, we cast the wrong people to be our partner. And even though they may seem good on paper, so if we're still talking about acting, let's say there's this very talented actor, so to speak, that, let's say Johnny Depp, and this might be a bit controversial. So I think Johnny Depp is very talented, but in recent years he's been cast for certain roles. I forget what this movie's called. I saw it, but I know he was cast as a Native American in one of his roles. If you guys know what movie I'm talking about, it was a few years ago, and the movie flopped, but partly to do with the fact that they cast Johnny Depp as a Native American. Or if we think about Scarlett Johansson cast as an Asian, I don't know if she was supposed to be Asian American or just cast in it as an Asian role. Audiences were not very pleased by that. And it's the same thing as finding a partner. If you may be attracted to someone, they may be perfect in every single way, but if you cast the wrong person for you, or let's say for a movie, it's just not going to work. And so oftentimes in relationships, we cast the wrong people. I've casted so many different people for the role of boyfriend. And in the past, I casted the wrong individuals. Even though at the time I had rose-tinted glasses, or I just tried to convince myself, because it was either I had rose-tinted glasses and I was completely blinded to the fact that I casted the wrong individual, or I was trying to convince myself that because everything checked out on paper, that individual was the person for me. Now, I did say in my last video, and I've definitely said this in the comments a few times to certain replies, or comments that I've gotten, I am dating someone right now, and I'm not sure if I casted him correctly, but so far it seems to be going pretty well. And that's what I would say for other people, is sometimes we want to hold on to certain things that aren't there, or we cast the individuals that shouldn't be casted. And this doesn't have to just do with relationships. Talking about like getting rid of friends that don't serve you, or family members. You can't really cast your family members, obviously, if they're biological. But if we're talking about friendships, we often cast the wrong people to be our friends as well. Especially if it's one of those things, and we can go back to the acting analogy. Let's say that a certain actor was perfect for the role for several years. I don't know, like a series like James Bond. Let's say an actor was a phenomenal James Bond, and they did it for several movies, but then after a certain point, it was like maybe something changed with that actor. He got older, or XYZ, but at a certain point, that individual was not a good James Bond anymore. It's the same thing as your friendships. People often outgrow other people, and it may not be two individuals at once outgrowing each other, but I have seen this quite a bit, where people in high school or middle school are friends with one another, and then they go off to college and they kind of lose touch with one another because they've outgrown each other, or one of them has outgrown outgrown the other. Maybe they moved away, maybe they got into a new relationship, maybe, all of these factors can play a role. And that's why it's important to evaluate who you cast in those roles, because at the end of the day, going back to the fact that you are the star of your life, you should be the center of your life. Well, you can also say God, but if we're just thinking about human beings, you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't take the leading role and you don't take responsibility, or you don't take the initiative or direction of trying to figure out who would be the best supporting roles, and also maybe another leading role in your life. Not entirely sure how this video will go over. I just thought it was an interesting thing to think about. And it's also interesting if you think of yourself as like in a play or in a movie. If you think about watching the play or the movie over again, and you think about who you casted and all of the different things, I believe that though you might have not casted the correct people 100% of the time, and no director can really claim that they've always, even the most phenomenal directors out there, the most wonderful directors, cannot say that they've casted the best actors for the role, even if they were good on paper. If you think about that with your life, and you think about where you are now, and you evaluate, maybe I should rethink my casting. Maybe I should rethink where the script is heading. Maybe I need to rewrite the script. Sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we have to backtrack and look at the scripts we're writing as well. And if it's not the narrative you want in your life, you have to take responsibility and do some editing. And maybe that is recasting certain roles. Or for a time, not even having that role in your script. So, hopefully you guys liked this analogy. I thought it would be kind of fun. And I know that this is a quicker video than what I'm used to posting, but I hope you guys enjoy it, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.